Welcome one and all, I'm Decoy. Unfortunately, I still have a bit of a cold. Hopefully I get over it soon. But hey, today we're in Grounded, which is pretty much like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, the video game, which is super freaking cool. I'm gonna be honest, I'm loving this game for the most part. There's a few little bugs here and there, but overall it is an awesome experience. I guess it helps that I absolutely love Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, so getting to basically play in that world, in a sense, is an awesome experience. Well, I figure, let's go ahead and just check out the base I've been working on for the last week. I mean, it's not super spectacular since I'm still kind of new to the game. But my hope is that you all enjoy seeing the base building, and maybe each week I can basically show as the base evolves and becomes even more massive and grand. Now, I did decide to put mushrooms underneath my house, mostly because mushrooms like being in the shade. Now, over here, there's like a floating foundation, or a buoyant foundation. I just unlocked that. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do with it. But kind of looking forward to messing around with that. Now, when I started playing this, I was the only one out of my play group that had the game. In fact, I knew I wanted to play the game for a really long time. I had actually pre-ordered it way back when, and I finally got around to playing it about a week ago. So I started off building, doing everything by myself. This structure right here is like my newest addition. Mostly because I needed to make basically a factory fortress. Something like that, alright? I just needed somewhere to put a bunch of spinning wheels. Eventually I'll get a bunch of jerky racks in here, and whatever other crazy things I figure out how to build. But yeah, like I said, I started off playing this by myself, and after a few days of people hearing about me having fun with it and looking up the game, some of my playgroups started to come over to Grounded, which was cool. And then enough people came over to Grounded that we're now beyond the point of fitting everybody in one game. Because you can only have 4 players in the world at a time, which kind of sucks. I would like to see, hopefully down the road, them expand beyond that, but I'm not going to hold my breath on it. I'm just going to be grateful for what we have right now, because this is absolutely amazing. And way over here, built a little basketball court. And it was funny, because when you build it, in a little description about it, it says, hey, play basketball with your friends. So I built a goal. I was like, well, maybe it comes with like a basketball or something for you to use? Or you can craft a basketball? Nope. At least not that I know of. But I did figure out how to play basketball. You have to use pebbles. Which sounds funny if you haven't played the game. But a pebble is legitimately about the size of a basketball when you are super tiny. Now, this house was the first thing I built. And really, it's just going to turn into a storage house. Eventually, it'll be full of chests with all sorts of crazy stuff in them. And then up here, we have a spider picture. You might be going, what's the deal with that? If you look out the window, you see the bridge. Occasionally, spiders like to stray too close to my camp, or my base, so I try to lead them over to the bridge and then murder them. Because they deserve it, because they're spiders and they're trying to eat me. Now, like the 2 doorways I have, this one and the next one, they just lead out onto a little pointless balcony. But back when I built this, I wasn't sure exactly what I was going to be doing. I knew this way I was going to be building my way out towards the big concrete structure. And yes, there is a bubble just randomly floating off into the sky. Alright, It's a pre-release, alright? And honestly, I'm not going to hate on that bubble, because it's pretty darn cool to watch that bubble just float up into the air for no reason. But yeah, so I knew I wanted to build way off to this concrete thing, mostly because I wanted to know, hey, what's inside of it? And then I was thoroughly surprised when I made it over here. Then I was like, okay, now I gotta build my way up. And by this point, one person from my playgroup had hopped over and joined in, and he helped gather a bunch of the supplies to build our way up here. So, we're going to make our way up top, and occasionally a friggin' crow will land up here, and if it is sitting up here, it will block you from getting on top. But it's still pretty darn cool. Now, one thing I love about being up here is you can really take in the view of well, I want to say the entire yard, but, I mean, it is a little bit blurry. You can see the house, and then off in the neighbor's yard, you can see like a basketball goal, I think. You can see like a grill way off in the corner of the yard. Overall, really cool thing. And man, just knowing that this pond was added, I think right before I finally got to start playing, at least with the friggin' koi down there and a bunch of cool stuff underwater to explore. I feel like I just got lucky and started at the perfect time. With that koi. It ate my buddy. Good times. Also, dandelions are awesome, and they make amazing parachutes. So that's pretty much where I'm at right now, base building wise. I'm trying to work towards unlocking a zip line. I'm not sure how that's going to work build-wise. But I'm working towards the most epic base imaginable. And eventually this base will expand and climb the tree over there as much as possible. Yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this and you want to see more of it. I mean, because really, I'm having a blast playing Grounded, so if you want to see any more Grounded content, let me know. I'll be more than happy to make it. The game deserves it, alright? Now, if you have Game Pass, I highly suggest checking out the game if you haven't played it, because it's on Game Pass, and it is totally worth your time. If not, I think the game's like $30, in my opinion. Is worth every penny to me. I hope you've enjoyed this. Please remember to like, sub, and share. Later.